Swingin' Blues. This is officially our last fully online week. Yay. We're over at college students. We're ready to get down though. Today, Sarah will be teaching the first part to the Wiggles routine, which I will continue next week, which will be fun. New routine to the club. We love our Wiggles. It stands to the Wallingford Wiggles by Glenn Crytzer. And Pax today for our blues lesson will be reteaching the Hound Dog Routine with some fun added freestyle moments. So stay tuned for that. Lackluster intro. Let's go. Let's move into Sarah's lesson with the Wiggles routine.
Hi, am I muted? No, good. Hi, folks. Let's get wiggling. Let's get wiggling and wobbling and doing all sorts of things with our feet and hips and arms. Great. Okay. I'm going to dance this first to show you. This is a fun song, but it has an intro, so you can do whatever you want in the intro, but I'm just going to stand there and wait currently, so you don't get confused. Ah! That's so loud. Okay. Oh, you can't see my feet, damn it. Here we go. Oh, shoot, Apple Jack back, sorry. Except for my mess up, there we go. That's the Wiggles routine. Today we're going to attempt to get at least until the Susie cues, which was the middle section that after the part I messed up. So, first we're going to go over the Shorty George. And this is a move I find difficult, so I will call it the Shoddy George, the way I do it. But enough of the self-deprecation. Let's get on with the move. Okay, so the basic movement of this is it's like you're squatting while walking. So you're gonna take a step and then you follow your knees really closely together. So just sort of practice walking around like this. Okay. Yeah, if you have bad knees, I don't recommend this move. Okay, so practice walking around like you're pretending to be short. And I have slippy shoes on, so I can do this, but I'm sort of pushing off with my opposite foot to go in the direction I want to go, making sort of a zigzag. Yes, the knees. Good job. Okay, and so let's just practice doing that. And you also, with the opposite hands, you do this little fun pointing thing. Like you're pointing, there's a cool thing, there's a cool thing. Okay. So to start off that combination, on 8 you go 8 and 1, and then you pop a squat. So pop a squat. Practice doing that. 5, 6, 7, pop a squat. 5, 6, 7, pop a squat. And your arms go up. 5, 6, 7, pop a squat. Now we're gonna keep going. 5, 6, 7, pop a squat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cool. Let's practice doing that a couple times. Let's practice it with music because we can. And we'll get a beautiful YouTube copy strike. Cool. We're gonna do this a couple more times than we normally do. Just for funsies. Pop a squat. Yeah, I lost lost control of my ankles, but that is basically how it goes. Try not to use music too much or else I will get taken down. Facebook has copyright too? Party poopers. Okay. Okay, so the way the moves work, I don't know if you can see this, but you can't see that, can you? So you have one, your first count of 8 is going to be a Shorty George forward. Your second count of 8 is an Applejack back, which I will show you. And then we have, surprise, another Shorty George forward, and then, oh wait, but there's more, another Applejack back. Now an Applejack, we learned this in the last online routine I did with you, which was the Big Apple routine, or at least a very small part of it. So for this, so the hand motion is you're going to do one of these, then keep your hands here, and as you go back, you do a little shimmy, or you can just lower, you just want to gently lower them with your hands flexed, which feels great after typing all day. It's a good stretch. Okay. So similarly, we have a foot movement before we go into our steps. So there's a lot of different options you can do to start your Applejack, but my preferred method of Applejacking is when I take I sort of do a brush with my heel and a little kick before I go into the steps backwards. So it goes like this. We should do the kick a bit, sorry. Applejack, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm backing onto the wall and the ladder. Okay. So for feetsies, it's kind of similar to the Shorty George, but just backwards. You just want to do some sort of swiveling motion with your feet until you go backwards, excuse me. Okay. Yes. So all together, that's, you still can't see my feet. Okay, I'll do it this way. Okay. Applejack, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we go back into our Shorty George. But let's practice doing our Applejacks 3 times going backwards. Ready? 5, 6, 7, Applejack, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Second time. Applejack, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Third time. 5, 6, 7, Applejack, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cool. How's that for an Applejack, folks? Are we feeling good? All right, let's do those first 4 8 counts. Wow, we are like already a third through this routine already. Isn't that fabulous? The joys of Zoom lessons. Okay, let's do this. So remember, our Shorty George, our Shotty George, we go forward, we go Shorty George, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then on the 8, you're gonna wanna actually do the kick. So that combination together is 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Great. Now let's do all those, let's do 1 repetition of that, so that gives us 4 counts of 8. Let's do it with music, actually. I know I'm not supposed to use music a lot, but this is important. I'll sing with it to avoid copyright. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Shorty George. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Applejack. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Shorty George. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Applejack. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Great. We did that. Let's do it one more time. Shorty George, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Applejack. called the boogie drop. How are we for time? Next thing we have is called the boogie drop. Now, first you start on your left, but on camera I'm doing it on my right, so that way when you mirror me, it actually is your left. Cool? Cool. So for the boogie drop, we go boogie, boogie drop, snap. That's it. So I'm putting my foot down and I'm like doing 2 little pulses. So pulse, pulse, or you can do a step too, like a step, step, then you bring it down, you squat, and then you bring it up and you snap. And you can do that the same thing on the other side. Step, step, bring it down, step. Okay, let's practice that really slow. So we just got out of our apple jacks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome. Let's practice that one more time. Slowly with our apple jacks going backwards. Apple jack. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Boogie, boogie. Nice. Okay. Let's add that on with our music now. That last move. This is good repetition. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8. Shorty George. Apple jack. And boogie. Snap. Boogie. Snap. Awesome. Okay. Now, our next move in that combination, which we have time for, is called a Susie Q. And now, there are a couple of variations of a Susie Q. If you're not on super slippery floor, I recommend, it can look really cool when you do this sort of pivot motion with your heel, but you can also do it with your toe, if you don't want to do it with your heel. So basically, what a Susie Q is, here, I'll get a little closer on my feetsies so you can see them. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm stepping with, my right foot, and I'm sort of pivoting on that foot, or allowing that to be the anchor point with my heel, and then I'm moving over. Okay, so you're sort of doing a cross, not really cross, but putting my foot in, and I'm wiggling that bad boy to make a Susie Q. Now on the other side, I can do the same thing. I can go Susie Q. Yeah, cool. You also do it with your foot. Am I doing this right, Amelia? I'm doing this right. Yep, okay. Finish up.
Do the move over again so I can watch.
Move over again. Just check in.
Pringles.
Check queen here. Okay. So let's practice doing our Susie Qs in both directions because we'll need it. So I'm gonna do it with my heel because it's also easier to see. But we suit, and you can also, with your hands in the video, they clasp them like this, which is kind of cute. But if you also just want to let them be free, you can do that too. Okay. 5, 6, 7, Susie Q, Susie Q, Susie Q, Susie Q. Other way. 5, 6, 7, Susie Q, Susie Q, Susie Q, Susie Q. So see what I'm doing on that, where I say Q, I step, and you pivot, and you step, and you pivot, and you step, and you pivot, and you step. Another side, pivot, step, pivot, step, pivot, step, pivot, step. So faster it looks like on the tempo. Do, do, do. Let's practice doing that to the tempo. 5, 6, 7, 8. Susie Q, Susie Q, Susie Q, Susie Q. Other side. 5, 6, 7, 8. Susie Q, Susie Q, Susie Q, Susie Q. Nice. Now I'll do it with my toe so you can see what it looks like with the toe. 5, 6, 7, 8. Susie Q, Susie Q, Susie Q, Susie Q. Other side. Susie Q, Susie Q, Susie Q, Susie Q. Little jump point. 6. Okay, so you end with your right foot pointing. And you're gonna take this right foot and you are going to step it in front of you, kind of like the hip swivels at the beginning and that saying you're on the ball of your foot, your knee is bent. But instead of it being the frontmost in terms of side to side to the camera, you are still facing the camera or wherever you're looking once there are no more cameras in front of you. And your foot is on the ball of its foot, your knee's sticking out. And what are you gonna do with it? You're going to step, bring the knee up, and then down. So you're making a little arch with your knee. You go step around down, and then you go to the left foot, step around down. Then you go back to the right foot, step around down. However, this is not an equal grouping. It's not in 4s, because after the second step around down, you're gonna James Brown, which hopefully you can see my feet. And this is a funky little move, like the man himself. So you're gonna put your weight on your right foot, and okay, let's start with some more basic things. I need you to put the weight on the balls of your feet, and I need you to swish your heels back and forth. You got this down? You're swishing? Right. So for the James Brown, what we need to do is we take the swish, and we don't only swish on the balls of our feet. We swish one way, and then we put the weight on our heels. Swish. I shouldn't have stumbled while doing that. So we swish, heel, then swish to the ball, swish, swish. See how we're getting that traveling? And then we can do the other way back. We're traveling like this. That is not the James Brown. The James Brown is even cooler, because guess what? You're only doing that movement with one foot. The other is dragging behind. So what you're gonna do is you put your weight on your right foot, on the ball of your foot, and then I'll back up so you can see my feet actually. So ball of foot, and then you swivel to heel. Heel, swivel to the ball. Ball, heel, heel, ball. And it looks better when it's fast. I kind of just look like a zombie with a leg. But notice that this foot is doing nothing. It is dead weight, like zombies. Segway. So you go ball, heel, ball, heel, ball. Woo! Except for you do it more quickly. So what would this look like combined with the arches? Step up, around, step up, around, step up, around, James Brown. And then guess what we're gonna do after that? Start with this left leg of yours. You're gonna go step up, down, right, step up, down, step up, down. Now you James Brown with that left leg. Woo! And you only do that twice. That is a 2-time only section. So cherish it while it lasts. It never returns in this dance. So up to speed, that is step around, down, step around, down, step around, down, James Brown. Step around, down, step around, down, step around, down, James Brown. You might be asking yourself, what comes after this segment? This is So I check and make sure everything is correct. You got some bounce backs, and then you get a freestyle. What? The main segment of what I'm teaching this evening. So we're familiar with the bounce backs. Get used to the bounce backs. They are your saving grace in this dance because they never change. It is always the same good old sit in with your hip, sit in with your hip, sit in with your hip, sit in with your hip. And there's 8 of them. Again, we are back to normal numbers. We are back to the safe 8s. So you do 8 bounce backs. And of course, I do not have enough room to do 16 backwards movements. But after you do that, it's 1 minute of freestyling time. And even just then, I showed one of the moves that we learned the last time I was teaching, which is the mess around. What is the mess around, you might ask? It is literally moving your hips in a circle. Bring them around town. That's what you're doing. You can be standing in a spot and you go whoop, or you can go the other way. It's a great time. This can be done solo or partner, but this is a solo jazz routine, so it is done alone, unless you find a partner in the freestyle, which is not safe at the moment, but when it is safe again, you may do, because it is freestyle. So the mess around is, look at that, woo, there we go. And then the other way back. And now there's also a variation on this that you can do, which I wore appropriately hip showing off attire for. But to do this, you can isolate your hips. And what does that look like? That looks more like this. And then the other way. Now how, if you have hips that are fully attached to your torso, do you do that? So a great warm-up, if you would like to do this but are currently unable to, is to push your hips forward, and then to the right, back, to the left, forward, left, right, back, left. Then you speed it up a little bit, and then you make the movement smooth. And that is if you are the leader, you go back first. Whereas if you are a follow, which is not of importance at the moment, given that it's a solo jazz routine, however, it is important for you to know so that you're not smashing hips in the wrong way. For that, you go back to the left, forward, right, back, to the left, forward, right, back, left, forward, right, back, left, forward, right, and then you just keep going. There you go. So that is an isolated mess around. And we also learned last time the grind, which may not seem like a grind if you are solo, but trust me, when there's 2 people, it is grinding. And it is somewhat similar to the arches. We have the arches where you go like this. Imagine that, but your feet do not touch the ground. You're making that same arch, but your foot is not on the ground the entire time. What you're doing is you're making the arch with your hip. So you're taking steps, you're going side to side, taking steps, except for your hip is going up, around, down, up, around, down, up, around, down, up, around, down. So, and you can travel anywhere with this. If you feel like you've bounced back too far, you can kind of hip your way up to the front. You feel like you are out of your frame. You can go to the side with this. You can also travel with this mess around, should you like. So these are both pretty self-explanatory moves. Now there's one that we learned
way back. And that is the fishtail, which appropriately, when I put my legs together, my bell bottoms make it look like I have a little bit of a mermaid tail. But that is not where the name of this comes from. It is from the shape of your legs, not your pants. So I will go back so you can see my feet. This is a 2-foot part dance. Each foot is doing a different thing. So for this, you start with your weight on your right foot, or you can start with your left foot. I will be teaching it starting with the right. So on the right foot, that's where your weight's going to be. Your weight is on the ball of your foot, and you are going to start sitting with your hip. And as you start sitting with your hip, you roll down so that the full weight's on your foot. Let's do that again. Ball, hip, roll. And then you take a step back with your left. You have stepped back with your right foot when you were doing this. The right foot is behind your left foot when you're doing this. Important thing to note. So you've stepped back and you're sitting back into that step. And then you take a step back with your left. On the ball, you're sitting back, sitting back, sitting back. But I said this was a 2-part foot dance. What is the other part? The other part is your foot, currently your left foot if you're starting on the right, like I was saying. So the weight is on the rolling back foot. What on earth is this foot doing? This is where the fishtail part comes in. This foot is, you start with both your feet straight. And what happens is when you take that step back, this foot swivels so it's pointing. Look at that shape. And then you take a step back, and as you're rolling back, this foot pivots so it's straightened out and pointing. And then you roll back, it's pointing, roll back, it's pointing, roll back, it's pointing, roll back, it's pointing. And that is what they call a smooth fishtail. It can be accompanied by our movements like these, or whatever you feel. But a smooth fishtail, here we go again. And then there is a jagged fishtail. What's that? It is fishtail, but jagged. It is much more sudden. You got to be popping those hips. Instead of leisurely taking your seat, you are bumping people out of the way with your butt. There's a person in your way, you say, bam. Another person in your way, bam. And you're going, bam, 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 bam. And the arm movement that people like to accompany with this is this. Arms out. You are social distancing. You are social distancing on the dance floor if you have 6-foot arms. I do not. But this is the intent. So as you're going back, you're going bop, 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 bop. Show off the hips. So those were the fishtails, and we learned the mess around and the grind. And these are all things that you can do within blues. But a common component to swing and blues is improvisation. So in this freestyle, I have given you some basic moves, but do not feel confined to them. Do not feel confined to them in any order. This is a free, non-choreographed section of the routine. Feel the music going through your body and do what you like. What you like could just be stepping side to side. Maybe flowing your arms around. Or it could be as complex as that jagged fishtail that I just showed you. It is whatever you wish to do with your body in that 1.5 minute period of time where there is no singing. But there is a second part to this routine. What? More choreography? Since when? Since Big Mama Thornton started singing. She will start singing again. And when she does, we are back into those knee hip swivels. Except for this is a variation. Remember the pattern that we had before with the shoulder leg squiggles of the slow, slow, fast, 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 4 fast. That's what you're doing, but with your knee. So you turn, foot is planted, and you go slow, slow, 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn and do it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you turn, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn again. I'm too close to my computer. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you get lost, do not fret. Your good friend and savior, the bounce backs, have returned. 8 whole bounce backs, same as before. 8 whole entire bounce backs. Correct, Amelia. Just so everyone knows, our president can count. So you do 8 whole bounce backs. Bounce back, 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 bounce back. And now we're back to the shoulder-leg squiggles. However, these have also been changed while you were dancing. That's sneaky Dexter Santos. He has changed the moves on you while you were freestyling. So what do you do now? Well, remember that move I taught you, the mess around? We are combining that with our shoulder-leg squiggles. So you're gonna do step, you're gonna go shoulder and step, and keeping the same quickness pattern as last time, go slow, slow, quick, 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 quick. Instead of going, we are going to mess around with that pattern of fast, 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 fast. So you go squiggle, squiggle. And while doing the steps in place also, you're gonna go mess around, mess around. So that is 4 of that combo of slow, squiggle, quick, mess around. Slow, squiggle, quick, mess around. Quick. You gotta do that. Or you could, if you should like, do the isolated hip version of the slow, squiggle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slow, squiggle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what's after this? It is the final part of the dance, I hate to say, and it is those ejection points with the snaps. We don't get another James Brown. How could we have been done like this, Dexter Santos? Why? It is the length of the song. The song is over. So we go eject and point, and not even the full 8 times. We go eject and point, eject and point, eject, point, and it's about 4 times when the song comes to a close. You can keep ejected and pointing until she finishes her last long note and the band stops playing, or you can finish it out with a change of weight onto your right foot and a glide. So that's, depends on how slippery what's on your feet are. I only have socks and this is a hardwood floor, so I can go sliding all over the place. I've almost fallen while teaching you. But that is the routine, including the freestyle section. So let's do it without the freestyle section because there's no music, and that would be odd because I'm not teaching you something and you need to have the freedom to do as you would like. I do not want to set any structure to your freestyle section. That is for you to decide to do with what you will. Let's go back to the start with our good old hip swivels. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Bounce backs. Bounce, 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 bounce. Shoulder leg squiggles. Squiggle, squiggle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slow, slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, slow, slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, slow, slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, eject, 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 and arch. Step up, around, step around. James Brown. Step up, around, step up, around, step up, around. James Brown. And then our trusty friends, the bounce backs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Freestyle section. Woo! I will mark it by spinning in place. That is freestyling at its finest. Just start spinning on the dance floor if you want. It is free. And then we are back with our 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Bounce, back, or bounce, back, back, or back. Back. You do 8 of those. I lost count, and now it's time for our varied shoulder leg squiggle. So you go slow, squiggle, slow, squiggle, mess around, slow, squiggle, mess around, slow, squiggle, mess around, slow, squiggle, mess around, eject, 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 eject. The song's over. You step and slide. Ooh. I don't know if I don't really feel like breaking laws, but I might just have to be gay, do crime. Can we play the song so I can do it? Do you have the song? Are we prepared for this? It is not Elvis. I link it to you. It's on that playlist. You know what I'm talking? Oh my god. It's on the Thrill Is Gone playlist. Yes.
Whoa, I feel alright this morning now. I want everybody to know that I was the one to say, you ain't nothing but a hound dog, quit snooping around my door. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, quit snooping around my door. You can wag your tail, but I ain't gonna feed you no more. You told me you was high class, but I can see through that. Yes, you told me you was high class, but I can see through that. And Daddy, I know you ain't no real cool cat. You ain't nothing but an old hound dog, quit snooping around my door. You ain't nothing but an old hound dog, quit snooping around my door. You can wag your tail, baby, but I ain't gonna feed you no more. Oh, please. Oh, swim just a little bit. Oh, shake it, but don't break it. Everything gonna be all right. Come on in, baby. Let's have a good time tonight. Oh, get it, buddy. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, make it good to the feet. Yes, yes. You and bow wow to all of you.
All right, so that was the Hound Dog Routine with freestyle variations. We did it for you. We did the whole routine this time instead of just first half, second half next week. Everything, one night, including the freestyle. You got the whole package deal. Very exciting time. I hope that you can listen to some Big Mama Thornton in your living room and groove out with your newfound repertoire. Also, important to note, all of the moves that are included in this dance can be used separately. They are not restricted only to Hound Dog. They can be used in other dances freestyle sections. They can be used in general to blues music. They are blues dance moves, not Hound Dog dance moves. So you can do them anytime, any place, as long as it's appropriate. I'm not encouraging inappropriate behavior. Please don't do this in the middle of class. But that is my lesson for this evening.
I guess I will close things out for tonight. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Pax. Amazing lessons, especially funky. I highly encourage you to do these during class. To quote Pax, be gay, do crimes, and break rules. But thank you for those lovely lessons tonight. So a little sneak peek of next week. I will be teaching the second half of the Wiggles routine to close it out. Or our last in-person lesson, last lesson of the semester, really. So if you want to come tomorrow. It's your last chance. I will be teaching Wiggles routine, and Katie will be teaching, well, she'll be going over the logistics and the breakdown of Apple Jacks and Boogie Drops. We got a little taste of that today in the Wiggles routine, but we're going to really break it down. Yes, next week. What? Just unmute yourself.
The next lesson is next week, not tomorrow.
I don't know things, okay? I have no concept of time anymore. I can't tell you how many times I've screwed up the days this week.